fight fans? I am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com, and I hope you are all safe, sound as you watch this latest edition of the Corona Chronicles. For this one, I have the pleasure of speaking with a veteran of the UFC bantamweight division. His moniker is Mr. Highlight, and Lord knows we need some of those right now. He is Andre Ewell. Andre, thanks for the time to talk this new American status quo we all living in, and you're the latest and going on in your career.
Hey, Juan, thank you for having me as always, man. It's always cherished moments when I'm on the show. And I love the little ring that you end up bringing to it, the Chronicle, the Virus of Chronicles, like that. But truth be told, my side, everything's like, it's prepping, and again, thank you for having me.
For the most part, the MMA industry is kind of just shut down until almost May for most promotions. A lot of fighters have side jobs as coaches, instructors, and some guys just have regular day jobs, 9 to 5s, and many of those may also be suspended in different states, different countries, as those places try to deal with curbing the virus. How bad is this moment right now for MMA fighters trying to pay bills if they can't get a fight, if their side jobs are in trouble, and are you feeling yourself? Do you do something on the side in terms of maybe instructing or whatever outside of just MMA fighting?
Well, that I do. I do instructing, so I can say it is honestly one of those like little dark clouds that's like over people's head at the moment. It's literally just got the notice of like yesterday that they are closing gyms, and my gym was part of it. But I do know that they have like a little limit of, hey, you're only allowed to have like 5 people or less in. So right now I'm like sliding through that window. So more working on like the privates area. But I end up seeing for other people that do have to end up getting a side job, or if this is their only income or they're depending on it, I end up filling for them, for me, it's just like I got into my second contract, so I'm not like, I'm not as on that situation. Yeah. But since I have a baby coming, it's like one of those, hey, I got to make sure I have the income coming in until I'm able to start fighting again. And September, looking at maybe end of August or in August, or mid-August into September. But as we look at it right now, that I'm on the same page as everybody else. Hey, that's the income, and this is our life.
I talked to Mark Montoya because Factory X had to close down, similar reason in Colorado. I talked to Julio Arce here in New York, similar things. The gyms had to close down. He runs one of the Tiger Showman's affiliates, and they were thinking about Julio's already doing it, and Mark Montoya's doing it too, in terms of doing online classes via social or YouTube and stuff like that. Are you and your gym gonna do something similar for people that still want to get that training in and they have those subscriptions, and so at least there's still that business relationship on some level?
To be honest, yeah. It was funny, too, because one of my sponsors from Biotech, they ended up hitting me up this morning, telling me, like, hey, can you end up setting up, like, little workouts here and there, and then, and add with the tags and everything. So I will be giving out that type of workout as in today, but it's going to be, like, later on today because I got an appointment of tattoos and whatnot. I got to get a little bit more color on my life right at the moment, So that's one thing I am doing. I'm taking, like, full advantage of my little small forced vacation at the moment. But definitely I'm starting like the little small instructions with little techniques, and I'm able to pass them off and, giving to everybody. And I'm also like doing like a lot of recording. Like this morning I was inside the gym and I ended up recording a few techniques, but didn't break down the parts. So I'm gonna end up getting into that probably Saturday/Monday. Start like giving out and passing out like techniques and stuff for everybody so they can kind of like grasp it. And I do know my professor Sean and my Muay Thai coach are probably gonna be doing the same thing, so a lot of information from Carlson Grace.
And I'm glad you brought up too a moment ago. Your baby's on the way soon, and it's not something everybody knows, and it's also a point of view I haven't gotten yet from anybody when I'm talking about this stuff. Considering what is going on right now, is there like a terror in your heart, having to know, okay, I've got to protect this newborn kid from this virus that can easily spread? Like should I just not take the baby outside for weeks? And is there a terror that you've never felt before because all these different moments in your life colliding in a weird way?
Well, it's like the funny part about it. It's like I was like at the moment of, oh no, just keep working out, you'd be good. It's like one of those like type of moments. But then you end up seeing like a lot of cases honestly building up and, being created and everything. But when I look at it is it's a strong immune system. And I know, I have a strong one. And I know my lady has a strong one. So with the baby, it's going to be one of those, the baby's going to have a strong immune system. So it's literally like they're doing their job, the hospitals and the docs over here. They're doing their job to make sure that it does not come into that situation or, like they're keeping it safe. They even like banned it where like visitors not allowed to come in, only the father and, and the child. So my son's mother and me, we're going to be there. And, so it's like down depressing for like everybody else. So they have to end up hearing this, like, oh, you won't be able to see the baby until the baby gets back, or gets home and everything, or view through pictures and videos and whatnot. But on the other side note, so I can go ahead and flip the coin. Like I'm not end up being scared just practice. And I was literally at the doctor's earlier today with, baby checkup. And the nurse was sitting there saying like the people that actually catching the cases like is the elder, so it's middle-aged babies and everything. It's kind of like a little small setup to someone just like start shooting needles at the older people. And I feel kind of bad about it, but that's exactly what the direction I'm going in, like how they're breaking it down. But as right now, I'm feeling that we're good and safe, and I feel like all this is going to blow over in less than a month. 3 weeks, 4 weeks tops.
Now, I wanted to talk about your fight your last fight, UFC 247 against Jonathan Martinez. Now, I definitely plan to talk about the serious injuries you left the fight with, but first, I wanted to talk about the fight itself. For some, the decision was viewed as controversial. The crowd booed in the arena, although MMA crowds are very fickle, so it's hard to go off a crowd reaction. But the announce team was bothered by the decision. Joe Solis also scored the fight. He had an infamous night in a lot of ways that puts a lot of, a darker cloud on it. I watched it again. It was a close fight to me. And oddly enough, I had the second round for you, although 2 judges scored it for him. So it just shows you how subjective it can be. Explain to the folks that watch this, that question that decision, why you won that fight.
Well, one, I'm glad that you ended up bringing that part up, as in you scored the second round for me, because if you end up looking at it, no matter how you flip the coin, 4 minutes beats 40 seconds.
That's the same way I feel.
It's automatically a coin given. And then I know it's like, oh, hey, yeah, you had him hurt in the last 40 seconds, give or take. And I'm actually going to, funny moment, I'm about to bring like my fight versus the other controversy fight. Forget the dang names. But it's one where the guy like had the dude on the ground, or had his back for like 4 minutes and some change. But I'm gonna get to that fight on mine. So again, for 4 minutes, I even had him hurt literally with one arm. If I had both arms, the fight would have been finished. And even Joe Rogan even stated when he ended up taking a shot, I ended up kneeing him and kind of like relifted him, and he was hurt from there. He ended up catching his bearings back a lot faster than normal, but you got to end up thinking about it. I was literally only punching him at the gate with one arm. So you got to end up taking one, basically got to take what you're able to give. So anyway, 4 minutes and, a little bit of change. I ended up getting hurt, which one, in the first 4 minutes, I was forcing him to shoot. 2, I'm landing my punches, making them miss and all that other, the extra stuff, including hurting. And then it comes down to the last 40 seconds where he ends up hurting me. But after he ends up hurting me, I still have my bearings with me at the same time. It wasn't one of those like, oh, I'm dazed or anything. It was a good body kick. Catch my breath. So at the same time, as he ends up following and chasing, I'm still throwing with the young cat. I'm losing the exchange, but I'm throwing back, and I even caught him with a few good ones. But that's only the last 40 seconds, meaning I'm responding, throwing back. There's no danger of getting finished. And now you look at the first 4 minutes and some change. That's in like first 4 minutes and like 10 seconds. I'm hurting. I'm over here hitting them. Every time that we exchange, I'm winning the exchange. So if anybody ended up giving the guy the second round, it's kind of mind blowing. And now it comes off of those two judges that did give him that round. Mind blowing. Okay. And then right now, I know everybody's like bumping on like Solis and it wasn't a 3-round fight, but ended up like really looking at it, easily could have been a 3-round. Like I said, it was close, and that's what ends up happening, being close. And for anybody that did not give me the first round, you won. You can't end up sitting there stating that, hey, I lost the first round, especially if I ended up knocking the guy down and forcing him to shoot and honestly winning the last 10 seconds of making a fight. I came there to fight, I tried to fight the boy, and that's what ended up happening. So in reality, first round, me. Second round, should have been definitely me. Third round, that's the only round that I could end up saying, okay, if anybody would have gave it to them, gave it to the young kid, I can't end up arguing, But it comes out to all three judges gave me the round. So now, only person that did not give me the first round was the judge that ended up saying that Martinez won. So if everybody's going to argue with Solis, do I have a right to say the judge that ended up saying that he won is not a good judge? Then I want to, take the course or take him to cases and stuff like that. Because in reality, say for instance, you end up giving the guy the second round, Martinez the second round, or as in Solis did.
Yeah.
You give him that round, I still win. It does not matter how you look at it. I won in two judges' cards. Now, if you end up taking that round, that second round, and giving it to Martinez, and now you give me the rightful round that I did win, the first round with the judge that gave him that round, guess what? I win again. Now this time in all three cards. I don't know, just like you end up flipping a coin, like, people end up becoming very biased on a lot of things, At the same time, when you have we have Joe, which is like, baby Jesus to the day, Mike and everything. Hey, it doesn't matter how you flip at it. Whatever he says, people are gonna kind of listen. It's like, oh. Hey, I can turn wine into water. People are gonna believe it. Joe said he can turn wine into water. No, it's really hard and possible, but Joe said he can do it. People are gonna end up believing it, But again, we watch the fight, watch it on mute. You end up seeing the real outskirts of the fight. Dre wins.
I mean,
doesn't matter. We're gonna go.
Well, let me just jump real quick, and I want to, because the questions on my mind. Like I've even had my problems with sometimes the bias of how the announcers call it, and especially Joe Rogan. He seems to do that very often. Is that like a frustrating thing as a fighter? Like you just said, to have so much influence like he does, and almost to seem biased even more as the years go, and kind of spreading a narrative that fans jump on and media jump onto, what is probably maybe not true.
No. It's definitely a problem. It doesn't matter how you flip the coin. Like, the dude was talking about me for about 2 weeks, but didn't give me no chance to even speak my mind. Didn't even let me talk on the mic. It's kind of like one of those, hey, Joe, you probably lost a lot of money because you bet it on Martinez to win the whole night, And it's like, if you end up just being quiet and just watch the fight again, you clearly know, hey, I won. But again, people have different mindset and different opinions, but at the end of the day, the only opinions that matter is the three judges that were circled around. And that's the thing about a split decision or a decision. When you leave it up to the judges, random stuff like this can end up happening. And where Martinez, he can end up feeling that way, but in my eyes, hey, you feel some type of way, we can run it back and it'll be a different story. Because I'm not the type to complain. I can literally sit here and bitch at Joe, hey, you for doing this. When I'm bitching about this, hey, you should have came in and actually gave me my interview and let me talk. And you could have easily understood and broke down and see where my sides are or what's going on, But Joe didn't do it, so it is what it is. So obviously I'm gonna have to have words with Joe when I see him. Besides him, that's on that case. And then going back to the Solis card, so it's funny that everybody was like, basically, how about he lost the second round, where remember I won 4 minutes of that round, okay? And Martinez won 50 seconds, okay? So now we're gonna go into that other controversial fight where it's the first round, the dude I forget. Yeah,
it was Krause and Giles.
Okay, there you go. So that fight right there. All right, I believe Krause ended up having his back for 4 minutes, okay? So now, for that 4 minutes, he had 4 submission attempts, but didn't do real damage. All right, but submission attempts. Note this, and then before anybody jumps on it, I felt like he did win that round. Okay, but if you look at the damage part, Gills ended up in the first 30 seconds, ended up rocking him, hurting him, to the moment that he ended up getting taken to the floor. He ended up the last about 30 to 25 seconds. He ended up reversing it while we're on the ground. He starts grinding, pounding to get up, and then he ended up really hurting. So we're going to give him about 40 seconds of real damage in the round, okay? Guess who gives him that round? Or Gills that round? Solis. He gave, Gills for 40 seconds of damage. People are getting mad that they gave him 40 seconds of damage, but not, hey, or yeah, gave Gil 40 seconds of damage. People are getting mad, like, oh, he definitely lost that round, this and that. He was on his back and had 4 submission attempts. Where you go to my fight, where I'm beating the brakes off of the dude for 4 minutes, and it comes down to the last 40 seconds, you guys go ahead and say, oh, well, Solis is wrong for giving Andre the round for 4 minutes, but not giving him 40 seconds. But you guys don't bitch when you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, pick your poison. And that's the same thing with Joe. Pick your poison, bro. Like you get mad, oh, he had his back for 4 minutes. Okay, but Gil's actually almost broke the dude, and if he would have gave him an extra 10 seconds, I think he would have ended up finishing the fight if you had 10 seconds in that first round. That's my opinion on the situation, because I ended up watching it, and that's my opinion. Give him an extra 10 seconds, he ends the fight. But didn't end the fight, and it goes on to being a good fight, a great fight. But again, it comes to that first round, 4 minutes of submission, me 4 minutes beating somebody up, and then it goes to the last one. Oh no, he didn't win that round, and now people are bitching at Solis, and when he actually doing an okay job, like granted, to me, I think he judged perfectly, because when I looked at the fight, that's how I felt like I won all 3 rounds. But again, it went to decision, and the way I look at it is, I'm the type of person that likes to excite people, and I should have ended up finishing it, but I couldn't. So that's what ended up happening.
And perfect transition, because you got the W against Martinez, but you left with the serious injuries, like I mentioned earlier. Those being, from what I've been told, a broken forearm, like we can see, and a knee injury too. Talk to me about those 2 injuries. It seems like the arm happened in the first round very early. And what is the prognosis for your recovery and returning to training and all those kind of things?
Well, definitely, like I said, the first kick that he threw was like less than 10 seconds. I ended up blocking it. He ended up breaking the ulnar bone. Which one, it went like numb. It's just like crazy mode. It goes numb because my adrenaline didn't start pumping yet. And then I'm like, okay. As soon as my hands get the little vibe, so I start throwing with it. He ends up high kicking again. I block it. This time it was alert. All right, you definitely broke the arm. And this is less than a minute. Okay, so it's like literally 45 seconds of the whole fight. So as soon as that happened, now it's just me biting down and me being a fan, or me trying to be the people's champ, or just I fight for the people. So it doesn't matter how you look at it. It was a moment of biting down and do what you do best. And and when it comes to it, I'm like Deion Sanders when it comes to this damn cake. I mean, I'm like the spotlight, the prime time. So it was like bite down, start throwing. So ended up letting go. But leg injury I ended up receiving that actually a year ago.
Wow.
So I've been fighting. Yeah, I've been fighting on a bucket tear, a meniscus tear, which is a bucket tear and whatnot, for actually based on majority of my fights.
Wow.
So with Dos Santos, Chito, this fight, so all 3 of them. So now I just had the time, because people end up getting, when you don't have a lot of the best incomes, there's certain things you got to just bite down and say okay to. But I'm used to injuries, and I'm not going to use any of the injuries as a complaint. But it comes down to that moment that no one has ever seen 100% me. There's certain things I can do and can't do. When it comes down to this, I actually can kick. I like kicking. I have a background in Taekwondo. I actually have a good wrestling background. Basics, but I have good wrestlers that push me. But it sucked. I couldn't do nothing for a whole year with it, because certain things like, hey, I can't shoot with my right leg, so it kind of goes downhill from there, But since it's new, I'm on recovery. They end up working on it. I'm about to be 100% basically Monday to be able to do everything I can with my full body except the arm. I got a plate going on right here. I got to wait until May 8th. But as soon as that plate comes off, your boy's going to be triggering, dragging, and shooting shooting out there like I'm playing dice. But the legal dice, whereas I'm going to Vegas type dice, not on the street. So anybody's ever thinking that, your boy's clean, okay? The only thing I'm probably doing criminally is opening up the gym and let people actually, train. Hey.
Now you mentioned where you were already when you hope to return, and we talked about last time Chito Vera, a rematch with him is something that you really want. Is that something you're still eyeing, or whatever? You've been out long enough. You just want to get back to action. You'll take whatever they offer when the time comes. Hopefully, we get back to normalcy in the next couple of months.
Well, That's exactly where we're on right now. It's like it doesn't matter. Me, it's just want to get back in because like people don't end up understanding when you end up waiting or you're forced to wait, and then on top of that, it's batting as in what's going on with the drama going out. That it ends up becoming irritating, And the only thing you want to do is just come back home. No matter who's at the house, you just want to come back home, and that's where I'm at right now. I just want to get back in the cage. So as soon as I get in the cage, then I end up shouting out who I want. But at the moment, it's just get back in there. So whoever they give me, whoever they like, and and I'm always down with where the people, what the fans say, what the people say. So hey, we want Dre to fight him. So if that's they want me to fight, I'm 100% with that. Hey, people said they want me to fight them. I end up sending it to my manager and to Shelby. Hey, can we make it happen? Because people say this is gonna be a good fight. Because you gotta end up remembering I'm a crowd pleaser and I like to make things exciting and I want things to be exciting. And as long as it keeps being exciting, people end up loving me because I don't want to be, again, like I stated before, I don't want to be liked. I want to be loved. That's all I end up standing for, man.
The virus seems to, and you mentioned earlier, it seems to affect really the elderly, also people with pre-existing conditions. It affects a lot. Are there friends or family that, you won't maybe be seeing for a little bit just to be on the safe side? Are your baby's grandparents probably going to have to wait a little longer till things blow over just to be on the safe side, just because of that seeming affliction the elderly have with this thing? Do you have to, going to miss out on some people for a little while?
I want to say yeah, but at the same time, it's going to be a no because like everybody that we are around, like when she has a small family, so ain't really on them kind of coming over or not. It's already small, and then my family is like separated in so many dang places that the people that are around me, we're already around each other. So it's one of those things like hey, there's nothing awkward or people coming from a different country or or a different state or whatnot, and we got nothing to worry about like that. It's just that obviously keep it in here. People won't know, hey, baby's born, and if you even cough and don't come, basically so small stuff like that.
Now, I just asked this question to Gilbert Burns. There are a lot of tough things going on right now, like we've been talking about. Folks losing jobs closing, businesses closing, fear of, like I mentioned, with the elderly. But let's be a little selfish. Let's be a little entertaining because we need it right now. These are tough times. These are depressing times. But is there something right now that you are most disappointed, most bummed out about is suspended or is being pushed back because of the coronavirus curbing and the strategies? Maybe it's, Gilbert told me it was Fast and Furious 9 being pushed back to next year bummed him out. Maybe for some people it's Black Widow being pushed back. Witcher Season 2 production has halted. NBA, NHL, MLB all on hold. March Madness canceled. For you, is there anything like, damn you coronavirus, I'm not going to be able to see this now?
Well, right now, I don't know about watching. It's about Juju Bar. There's this place around the way. It's amazing. They had to close it down, and I'm like hot. I went over there. I have like a little pocket cards and everything where they end up like punching holes. And, like I'm on my freezer. And so that's like literally the spot. And right now, I'm like okay with everything until the fact is they end up postponing football. That part I'm not gonna probably be down with if they end up going over there because I'm a Dallas fan. Even though I know we got a lot of work to do, but I'm a Dallas fan. And right now, obviously, I want to see the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight. So I need that one to come back. And then at the same time, I want to go ahead and travel back. Or when the fights start coming back on, I'm missing out on the fact isn't able to travel because I know they have a fight overseas mid-August, and I feel like it's in Ireland.
Oh yeah, double.
Yeah, double. And that's the card I kind of want to jump on right now. A good comeback to be overseas, to end up presenting myself for the world because the world will be watching. Just the fact is in, like you said, like all the whole dramatic effects of coronavirus and moving on that everybody's going to be tuning in on and miss. Oh, we missed UFC. So that's the card to be on because I believe that's going to be the next biggest UFC fight. Just factors in it's Connor's, hometown or around the way and whatnot. And, he's going to most likely try to be on that card. So I think that's the card to be on right now.
I mean, I'm it's interesting you bring up the Cowboys. I'm in New York City. I'm a Giants fan, so I wish nothing but the worst for the Cowboys. I really do. Now, so
Oh
what do
man.
you think of these? They're throwing around some big money right now in free agency. What are your thoughts on giving Cooper a lot of money, which and what do you think? Thoughts about one? Dak Prescott's just being greedy. He's just being greedy, but he got the franchise tag. Are you on board with these moves? Do you like these moves for the Cowboys salary cap?
Well, the thing about it is like I understand like most people they feel like Dak is actually being greedy, but on the other side, he is actually they're trying to keep him a lot longer than he wants to be kept. They're trying to do a 6-year deal. He wants to do a shorter deal, like a 3 to 4, because it'll come to this moment like because like how Cowboys are. They have like one of the fastest turnarounds. Yeah. They're kind of like matter of fact, no, just places just like that. They have a fast turnaround. Like right now, we just got done getting rid of our whole defense as we speak, right? Or majority of, like out of the 11 we're looking at, they got rid of like 8 of them, and some of the backups and everything. So with Dak, he's actually playing it smart where you get a 3 to 4 year contract where if they stop playing you or they stop playing you, he's able to still kind of branch off and go somewhere else. That like people need to understand, and like if you end up doing bad, oh man. Oh man. Just know that's gonna be the last one. Know that. Last one. This is gonna be the last one for like the next 7 years. But look, I gave you a chance. 7 years. But so with them, like, he's trying to keep it short right now. And then with the Coop thing, I feel like it's a good deal. A lot of money, but it's a good deal. But 9 times out of 10, they'll probably do the same thing they did with Ezekiel Elliott with the like reconstruction his deal. They're just trying to keep him. Like, as soon as we get you, we will reconstruct it and whatnot and do the same thing. But like right now, I'm behind Dak on the situation. Get a 3 year because, like I said, fast turnarounds. Like he gets hurt, they'll bench him and he won't play until his contract is up. Like they'll hold him as in, all right, we're going to hold you as a backup until this person messes up. Just like Tony Romo, he's low key. He still had a deal with the Cowboys. Like if he preferred to come back, they'll bring him back because his contract is still kind of like running with him, But he couldn't go nowhere else. Like they had to low key like really say, Harry, we're gonna let you go, But yeah, so it's like little certain directions with stuff like that.